Guys, it's a book haul. It's a quarantine book haul, which means it's a big ass book haul, okay? Everybody's done this video. Me, her, and the third have all done a quarantine COVID extravaganza book haul of just excessively buying books. But here's the thing. Books are a great distraction. And do you know what the world needs right now? A distraction. Because COVID, it ain't it, sis. It ain't it. It's not cute. I don't like her. From February to mid-July, consumerism won. It won. It got me. Hook, line, and sinker. So I have a shit ton of books to talk about. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a brief. It better be brief. I swear to God, Katie. I know you're a Gemini. And I know you never shut the fuck up. But it better be brief. Because I swear to God, future me, editing me, is going to hate your freaking guts. Okay? So I'm going to give a brief synopsis on each book. And if I've read it, I guess I'll give you what I rated it. And then I'll move on. Because listen, I don't have time. You don't have time. Nobody has time. Okay? There's a bunch of books. This video is going to be long no matter what I do. So buckle up. Okay? And if you like it, you could like the video. That would be dope. You could subscribe. That would be doper. And then I also have my Instagram and my Goodreads link down below. I would love it if you followed me on Goodreads. Give me some recommendations. Also, if there's any of these books that you've read that you love or if you hate, oh my God, please tell me if you hate one of these books because it would make me feel better if it wasn't my decision on not to read something. You know what I'm saying? But let me know. And then based on what y'all say is what I'll read next. But anyway, let's get into it. So I'm going to go through mysteries and thrillers first. And I'm going to go through the authors I have repeats of. So the first one is going to be Riley Sager. So, first of all, I have Final Girls, which I did not like. Hated it, hated every character. It's basically like where after a mass killing, it'll be that one girl happens to survive. And it's like the 3 girls over the past 20 years that this has happened to. And it's supposed to be that the most recent one doesn't remember anything that happens. And another one of the final girls comes to her and is like, let's figure it out. Because I don't believe you. I don't think you don't remember. So, that's what the book is about. Didn't like it. Anyway, next, I have Lock Every Door by Riley Sager, which I loved. 5 out of 5, like could not get enough. This is about a apartment building in New York, and it's called the Bartholomew, and it's about they keep hiring apartment sitters to just fill the space of empty apartments because they say it needs to feel lived in. It's super sketch, and the apartment sitters keep going missing. And there's the main character who's trying to figure out what happened and try to stay alive, and it's very weird. It's very eerie. It's like occult, like witchcrafty, ghost. Like it's got every vibe, and it is so good. It's very American Horror Story. Then I just got this from Book of the Month. It's Home Before Dark. It is a daughter of an author who wrote about a haunting in their house. And it was kind of like a, is this fact or fiction kind of thing. And then I think her dad dies. And then I think she goes back to the house. And then the same things that he said happened or that he wrote about in the book starts happening to her. That's all I know. The next author is Gillian Flynn. So I actually reread Gone Girl earlier this year, and I'd already read Sharp Objects and Dark Places, but after rereading Gone Girl, I was so in that hype, and I went out and bought these because I had listened to them on Audible before. Dark Places I have not reread yet, and I honestly barely remember what this book is about. I've read it. I really don't remember. I know that Charlize Theron plays her in the movie. Sharp Objects. I just reread this. Moving on. This is one of my favorite books of all time. It is freaking fantastic. It's Southern Gothic horror. It is so good. It's like about a mom, an older daughter, and a younger daughter, and how fucked up they are. Like, this is true psychosis. They are sociopathic, psychopathic nut jobs, and it's phenomenal. It's that like Southern polite, but really, we're gonna peel your skin off. The next mystery thriller author that I have is Ruth Ware. So I've read 2 out of the 4 of these books. So first off, I have The Turn of the Key, which I just read. And this is really, really good. It's about a woman who goes to nanny for this family who has a smart house, like a super Elon Musk smart house. And the house starts doing all this crazy stuff. Like they have three like young daughters, and the parents go out of town, and the house starts like turning the music on. She's hearing footsteps above her, even though there's no attic. And like all this crazy stuff is happening, and she's trying to figure out what's going on. And it's very like she's trying to figure out if the house is haunted, if there's somebody like stalking her, what's going on. And it's her letters to a lawyer telling the lawyer, I didn't kill this kid. And it's like one of the daughters, and you're trying to figure out which one of the daughters it is. Very interesting. The Death of Miss Westaway. I have not read this yet, but I heard that Noelle Gallagher said that this was her favorite Ruth Ware book, so bought it. I believe that this is about a woman who, I think it's like her aunt, or maybe it's her grandma, dies and leaves her like a house. I really don't know. That's all I know about it. And I think it's, I don't know. She leaves her like a fortune. Next one, In a Dark, Dark Wood. Wow, I know even less about this. I am not even kidding you. I know nothing about this book. I know nothing about it. It just said Ruth Ware on it, and I bought it. But I have read The Woman in Cabin 10, and this is about a journalist who boards like a cruise ship with all these other people to go see the Northern Lights. And there's a woman in cabin 10 next to her, and she sees her hastily, and then in the night she hears this crazy commotion, like somebody screaming or something. She goes to the window and sees somebody fall out of the window, like sees somebody fall over the balcony, and she knows somebody's been murdered, but every time she brings it to anybody's attention, nobody has any idea what person she's talking about. And she's on a ship, so clearly nobody could have come and gone. So if nobody knows who this person is, then she must not have been there. And she's on a bunch of like drugs and alcohol, and she had a traumatic experience right before she came on the ship, so she's a super unreliable narrator. And it's her journey of like trying to figure out if this woman's real, what happened to her. I will say this was good. It wasn't great. The next author with the most varying paperback format, which, oh my God, pissed me off, is Sherry Lapina. Why do you think Sherry Lapina decided for all of her paperbacks to be such varying sizes? Like, makes me mad. But I'm actually unhauling all of these books anyway. I really liked The Couple Next Door. This is super, super fast and fun. Like, I loved it. I actually gave this 4 out of 5 stars. I could not stop reading this. I had it in my apron at work, and I could not stop. It is, in my opinion, based on the Madeleine McCann story. It's so good. It's like this couple goes next door to another couple's house, and they leave their baby in their apartment, and they have a baby monitor, and they think everything's fine, you know, LOL. And then when they go back home, the baby's gone, and them trying to figure out what happened. And it's a bunch of like, do you have secrets? Wait, no, I have secrets. Do you have secrets? Wait, you have secrets? No, wait, I have secrets. Like, what? How are they all interweaving, Jesus. But yeah, so this was good. A Stranger in the House. It was so boring. It was so boring. I did not care. You don't need to know about it. It wasn't good. So I have not read Someone We Know, but A Stranger in the House did not leave a good taste in my mouth. And I did not feel like The Couple Next Door was good enough to make me really care about reading this. So I think I'm going to unhaul it without reading it. Next is Lisa Jewell. So I listened to Then She Was Gone earlier this year and immediately went out and bought more of her books. So I'm actually currently reading Watching You, and I'm only like 20 pages in, so I don't have a clear synopsis on what the book is about. But what it seems like so far is that it's this woman living in this neighborhood where everyone's watching each other. Like, everybody's peeking out of their blinds, clocking everybody else's everything. And I'm pretty sure like somebody's gonna die, and then it's just like a neighborhood scandal, I guess. And I'm pretty sure the main character is gonna sleep with one of the other neighbors. I don't know, but I love Lisa Jewell, and she is creepy as fuck. Then I have The Family Upstairs. I don't know what this book is about. I have no freaking idea, but I love Lisa Jewell, and I'm totally down for it, and it's a book of the month. And yet another book that I don't know anything about is Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. I just got this from Book of the Month, even though I know it did not recently come out, but I've heard a lot of people talk about it. I'm pretty sure this is the one that's like a mystery / sci-fi, but maybe that's Recursion. I don't know. This is a BookTube hype purchase. Next is The Shadows by, oh my God, I'm so annoying. I don't know what this book is about. I don't know. Okay, I don't know what this book is about. Okay, it's by Alex North. It's a BookTube hype purchase. I'm sorry. I've got another one. A Good Marriage. I didn't realize how many books I buy having no idea what they're about. I'm disappointed in myself a little bit. But then again, I'm like, maybe this makes me more adventurous. A Good Marriage by Kimberly McCreight. Hope it's a good time. 8 Perfect Murders by Peter Swanson. I don't know what the fuck this book is about. I have no idea. But I read The Kind Worth Killing by Peter Swanson and I loved it. Oh, I've read this. Okay, so this is The Guest List by Lucy Foley or Folly. It is about a wedding that is taking place on like a remote Irish island, and you're following like a bunch of the main key players in this wedding, and it's supposed to be like that everybody has a secret and they're all messed up and all of their secrets intertwine. It's this big weaving story. Somebody dies and you're trying to figure out who did it, who's the one that died, all this stuff. You're going back and forth from like before it happened to after it happened. And I know that all sounds very enticing, but I didn't like it. Next, I have Miracle Creek by Angie Kim. I know that this is a courtroom thriller. I believe that it's like a woman who's like accused of killing her handicapped son, I believe. Now, have I read the synopsis? No. The next one is The Perfect Stranger by Megan Miranda. And I'm not going to tell you what this book is about, not just because I don't know what it's about, even though I don't, but because I am unhauling it, because I just don't care. I don't care. I don't want to read it. Nothing about this is calling to me. And I never hear anybody talk about it. And did I rip this book? Oh my God. Katie. I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm getting rid of it. Then I have Dreamcatcher by Stephen King. Now, I didn't buy this book. My brother actually sent it to me because he said this is his favorite Stephen King of all time. And I was like, you know what? I'll give it a go, because last year he sent me The Stand and I was like, LOL, I'm not reading that. Okay. 1, it's the thing that terrifies me the most. And 2, it's like 1,500 pages and don't catch me dead. You know what I'm saying? From what he told me, it's about like a group of boys who saved a kid when they were younger, like saved, like I think like a mentally disabled kid when they were younger, and it like bonded them together. And then now every year, I think they have some sort of like hunting trip to like celebrate it or something. And then a dude stumbles in out of the woods and is like creepy, and then chaos ensues. I don't know. I hope it's good because my brother loves it and he wants the book back. So now we have 2 weird as fuck books. Bunny by Mona Awad and The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay. These were both 5 out of 5 books for me this year. I put them both on my favorites of all time list on Goodreads. So The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay is about a gay couple and their adopted Chinese daughter, and they're in a cabin like as a vacation in the middle of nowhere, and 4 total strangers walk up with like purge-like weapons and tell them, we need your help to save the world. Like there's an apocalypse coming, and if you don't sacrifice one of you, if you don't kill one of you, the world's gonna end. It's wild. It is so good. Then Bunny by Mona Awad is like a dark academia. It's like, I heard somebody on Goodreads said that this book is like Mean Girls if it was written by Stephen King on acid, and that's exactly what it is. It's so creepy. It's like this girl is going to school, and there's a clique of girls who all call each other Bunny. So they're like the bunnies, kind of like the Heathers, and they're into some weird shit. Okay? Like weird shit. Like I can't even tell you what kind of weird shit happens between these girls because you're not going to believe it. I don't believe it. I don't really believe what I read. I don't know. It's good though. My Sister the Serial Killer by Oyenkin Braithwaite. And this is exactly what it sounds like. It is basically an older sister whose younger sister is killing her boyfriends. And she keeps saying, they attacked me, they were abusive. And the older sister is like, I need to help her. Like, she was defending herself and she accidentally like killed somebody, or she killed somebody out of self-defense. And I need to help her clean it up. But then after like the fourth boyfriend, she's like, this kind of seems like a pattern. I don't know. And it's that kind of hostility, that angstiness of them and like her sister being a psychopath, and the older sister having to deal with that and like loving her sister and trying to formulate a plan and formulate a way that her sister can successfully live in society. It's very short and it's very good. I gave this a 5 out of 5. Monday's Not Coming by Tiffany D. Jackson. I am actually keeping this book. I read this, I gave it a 4 out of 5. I'm keeping it because I had such an emotional reaction reading this. I can't even really explain to you what like caused me to just sob and sob and sob reading this book. But it's about a girl named Claudia, and her best friend Monday goes missing. She just stopped showing up at school, and she lives in not a great part of town. And Claudia keeps going to adults, because she's very young, keeps going to adults and being like, where's Monday? Where's Monday? And nobody's listening to her. The police don't care. Teachers don't care. Like, nurses don't care. Her parents don't care. Monday's parents don't care. And it's her struggling with trying to be believed and trying to get somebody to care about like an impoverished kid who has been in trouble many times, and nobody wants to listen to her. And it's so sad. I Let You Go by Claire McIntosh. Now, I actually, like, you haven't heard this a million times, I don't know what this book is about. All I know is that Books and Lala recommended this because she said that it is one of like the most amazing plot twists she's ever read, and I believe her. I also got recommended Behind Her Eyes by Sarah Pinborough, and I did read this and I gave it 5 out of 5. This was so insane. Like, this is a plot twist to end plot twist. Like, it's like this woman, she like starts an affair or like a relationship with this guy, and then she finds out it's her boss. And then she also finds out he's married. And then also she becomes best friends with the girl he's married to. So it's like this huge web that she's weaved. And there's a lot of other shit that's going on. Like, she's dreaming, but in her dreams, she's able to like walk around and see what's going on in the world while she's asleep. It's wild. Next, I have Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie, and I don't need to tell you what this is about, okay? There's a murder on a train. The Devil in the White City by Eric Larson. This is supposed to be a real, or based on a real life story, or it is a real life story, but it's written in fiction about a fair and a serial killer who used the fair to draw in victims. And it's like the story of how he did it and like how he got away with it for so long. And it just looks so good. And this has so many good reviews, and I can't wait. Don't Let Go by Harlan Coben. I think he's a detective, and I think it's like maybe his brother goes missing or something, or his brother's dead and he's like trying to figure out what happened to him or something. I don't know. And honestly, this is another book where I'm like not super excited about it. We'll see. I'm not gonna unhaul this yet, but I have a feeling I might unhaul in the future. I don't know. If you guys think it's good, please tell me. Or if you think it's bad, please tell me, because then I'll feel better about getting rid of it. Moving on to fantasy, I have, oh my God, my Victoria Schwab little book haul here. And I bought Vengeful. And Vicious is about Eli and Victor, and it's like them and their journey to become EOs, which are like extraordinary people that have like supernatural abilities. And Vicious is one of my favorite books of all time, 5 out of 5. It's so good. Read Vengeful, and I understand I had a lot of expectations going into it, but I didn't care for it. I didn't like Marcella at all, who's a new character. We don't need to talk about it. It wasn't my thing. So I have also from her The Dark Vault And this is actually the unbound, the archived, and the novella, like all in one. It's a bind-up edition. Haven't read it yet, but from what I've gathered, it's like these people are like historians, and after people die, their like life story or their lives are kind of like kept like books on a shelf, and their lives are told through like pictures, like a picture book, and the stories are trying to get out. So the historians are trying to keep them from escaping, especially bad ones. The Darker Shade of Magic series. So I have A Darker Shade of Magic, A Gathering of Shadows, and A Conjuring of Light. Now, this series, I've read all of them, by the way, and they're all fantastic. Like adult fantasy. Oh, this is so good. So it's about characters Kel and Lila, and basically it's where there are 4 Londons: Black London, Gray, White, and Red. And all of them have something to do with magic. Now, it's kind of like red is like magic is wealth there. So magic is plentiful. And in White London, it's been sapped almost completely away. Like they're pretty desolate. Gray London is the most like our actual reality where magic is just like a fun idea. And then Black London, magic has like scorched it completely. So there's no magic there anymore. And Kel is a kind of creature where like he can travel between the Londons, and basically nobody else can do that except Holland, which is my boy. So it's basically a story about how the Londons, trying to keep the Londons from being at war with each other. Okay, another fantasy is The Warrior Heir. Don't even know what's by. Cinda Williams Chima. I think this book looks so gorgeous. I don't know what it's about, but I've heard a lot of people say that this is a series that BookTube did not give a chance and that it's a really good fantasy. And I saw this and I thought it looked so pretty. Like I saw it in a used bookstore and I just wanted to get it. And you know what? I actually am pretty excited to read this. Like nobody talks about it, so you'd think I wouldn't be, but I don't know. I think it's just because it's so pretty, but I am excited to read it. And then I'm counting this as fantasy, though I'm not really sure what genre this falls under. And it is Good Omens by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett. I've heard that the TV show is super, super good. And I really want to read this and then watch that. And I think that this is about like, what, like an apocalypse or something? Maybe not an apocalypse. I might be like wildly, guesstimating on that. But it's supposed to be something where I think it's like demons. There's demons involved and they're like walking the earth or something. And an angel and a demon. It's like good and evil. There's like a lot of good and evil stuff happening. That's all I know. And honestly, you should be grateful because this is more than I've known about half the books. Next genre I'm going to go into is LGBTQIA plus books. And of course, June is Gay Pride Month. Bet, like I'm gay, the world's gay, everybody's gay, we love gay. So I bought a bunch of gay books, and probably, arguably, the best one I got is Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. I loved this book, 5 out of 5. I listened to it on audio, which I highly recommend, and then I immediately bought it, and the second it came in, I reread it that day. I think I read it completely that day, too. It's so, so, so phenomenal. It's about Aled and Francis, and they are going to high school, and Aled is creating a podcast, and nobody knows who he is, and it's his way of kind of trying to figure himself out creatively, sexually, like all these different things with his identification. And Francis is like a school nerd, like she is on it. She's book smart to a T. And it's their friendship and kind of navigating friendship, family, sexuality, gender identification, and also I think the biggest thing in this besides friendship and sexuality is it's 2 people that have fought so hard to get into college and to make something out of their life with college, realizing they don't want to go to college and that's fine, and kind of like navigating what life means without college. And it's just it's so good. Of course, Alice Oseman does it again with Heartstopper Volume 1. And I cannot wait to get Volume 2 and 3. It's phenomenal. It's these 2 boys in high school, and one of them is already out and he's gay, and he has a boyfriend who is a piece of shit. And then there's another boy who is very like, he's a jockey, or he's not a jockey, but he's a jock. And him not knowing that he's gay, and then falling in love with this other guy. and not realizing he's in love with him and having to kind of navigate that. It's so cute. Like, this is so precious. Like, can you? I flipped to a random page and you might think this is the cutest page you've ever seen, but no, it's just one of all of the cute pages. This is How You Lose the Time War by Max Gladstone and Amal El-Motar. And this is very confusing. It wasn't my thing because I couldn't really track it. It just confused me so much. So it's following two characters, Red and Blue, and they're on opposite sides of this kind of sci-fi war between two factions, and one of them is like nature and the other one's like technology. It's them fighting against each other in this like never-ending war, but then also falling in love with each other because they're the only other person that would understand them. And I will tell you that the letters between Red and Blue are so good. Let's talk about the gay love story of the century. Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. This is so good. Can I give 6 out of 5 to something? Like, I have never felt so many emotions while reading a book than while I read this. I was throwing this book across the room. Like, I fucked this book up. Oh my God. Dancing around my apartment, screaming, laughing, crying. I was obsessed. I have never written in a book or highlighted as much as I did in this book. Like, oh my God. It was everything. It's supposed to be kind of set in like an alternate timeline where basically like if Hillary Clinton had won instead of Trump, you know? Why, God? Why not? So it's supposed to be where a female president wins, and it's about her son and the queen's grandson. So like a prince and the first son of the United States. And them two dudes fall in love with each other. And I don't need to say anything else. It is the funniest book I have ever read in my entire life. And I freaking love it. The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. So we're following two boys and one of the boys' sister. And they are best friends. And our main character has been in love with his best friend since like day one, but doesn't know how to go about telling him because he doesn't want anything to change. And they go out on a trip abroad, and them just having a wild time and trying to navigate falling in love with each other or what they should do about it. It was fun. It was cute. I recommend it, but I'm not going to keep it. Sawkill Girls by Claire Legrand. I really liked this book. I think I actually gave it a 4 out of 5, but then also put it on like my favorites. It is following 3 girls. One of them is bisexual, one of them is a lesbian, and then the other one is asexual or demisexual. It's like there's kind of a very fine line on a lot of the characters, and I love that. I think that Claire Legrand did sexuality so well in this book, especially like the discovering of sexuality, and she did it so responsibly and with so much understanding, and I really loved it. Like, being somebody who has gone through the thought processes of all 3 of these main characters, I really, really loved it. This is basically Stranger Things on an island. It's like it's these 3 girls on Sawkill Island, and there's like a demon that's like killing kids, and they're trying to figure out how to stop it, like what they can do. It's literally like it's the Upside Down. It's Stranger Things. I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. I've already read this book and I bought it to own it. It's 5 out of 5. I think I've reread it twice, so I think I've read it 3 times in total, which is shocking to me. But this is such an incredible queer representation. It's such a beautiful and heartbreaking story. It's about Jude and Noah and their siblings. I think they're twins, actually. I think they're twins. And it starts when they're very young and then goes through them when they're 16. And Noah is an artist, and Jude is very like daredevil-y, and she, like, as they grew up, I think it's that like he wants to get into this program, and then I think she gets into it instead of him, and it's this big rift between them. I'm pretty sure that's what happens. And I know that, like, he's gay and she's straight. And I think that they both fall for the same person. I don't really remember. I can't believe I've read this 3 times and I can't really remember. I just remember that I loved it and I'm recommending it. It was good. So my next genre is going to be young adult. And the first book I have is Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia. And this, in my opinion, is like young adult classic. This is what you think about when somebody says young adult. And it's a very, very beautiful mixed media format. Like, there's a lot of her comic because she is the author of a comic, Monstrous Sea. So the main character, Eliza, she has created this worldwide phenomena of Monstrous Sea, and nobody knows who she is. And she's in high school. And then this guy starts going to her school who is one of the biggest fan accounts of her comic. And she doesn't want to tell him who she is because she's never told anybody, and it's her thing. But she starts relating to him about the comic, and it's kind of like them falling in love and her trying to keep this secret of who she is and trying to figure out how to tell him. Moxie by Jennifer Matayo. That might not be how you pronounce her name. I really loved it, and I would definitely recommend it to, like, anyone. Like, this book is freaking phenomenal. This is 5 out of 5. I felt so many emotions reading this book. This is A+. A+. Chef's kiss. So good. I did not realize how much I was going to love this. Like, it's so, so, so good. It's like following this girl who is kind of a little bit more shy and reserved, and her looking around and realizing how absolutely fucked up patriarchy is, and how fucked up it is that, like, this whole boys will be boys bullshit, and, like, basically her school telling her that she needs to dress a certain way so that boys don't get distracted by her, but that guys can dress however they want. And it's just so, so good. And it's her basically becoming a riot girl. And by her wanting to be a riot girl and wanting other people to stand up for themselves, she finds this, like, tribe of girls in school also agreeing with what she's saying and thinking this is bullshit and not wanting to deal with it anymore. And all of these girls in the school coming together, no matter what clique they're from and no matter who they are, what their backstory is, or what they look like, and basically saying, like, yeah, you're a cheerleader. Okay, you're a drama nerd. Okay, you're a geek. Okay, you're this. Oh, you're a loser. You're popular. We're all women and we all matter. And it's so, so good. Like, I cannot recommend this book enough. Like, this is something I want to buy every single girl, woman, anybody I've ever met. I want them to read this book. When Dimple Met Rishi by Sandhya Menon. I haven't read this, and I don't know what it's about, which is made very clear because when I got it, I thought that it was a gay love story. And it's not. It's a girl and a guy, which, I'm not going to lie to you, was disappointing. It was disappointing because that is the reason I bought it. Then I have Wolf by Wolf by Ryan Groudon. And I saw that this had really, really good reviews on Goodreads, and that's why I picked it up. Like, it has really good reviews. All I know about it is that it's supposed to be like an alternate timeline of if Nazis won World War II. And I think based on the cover that there's some sort of kind of sci-fi fantasy stuff involved. I might be wrong with that, but I'm pretty sure it follows a main character who's, like, trying to take down the Third Reich, like, or take down Adolf Hitler. Okay, now we've got classics, and the first one is going to be Little Women. And I have never read this book before, shockingly. I think it's one of my roommates' like favorite books. I don't know. I know that after she saw the movie, she was like freaking out about it. But all I know is this follows a family, and it's a bunch of sisters, and it's like the main sister basically being like, yeah, I'm a woman, so what? Hello? And it's like her romance with somebody who's like treating her seriously and not treating her like she's just some girl and can't do anything, and she's a writer, and it's just, I feel like this is going to be really good. I feel like I'm really going to love it. I mean, it's a classic for a reason, right? And then I have The Martian by Andy Weir. This is a classic, I would say. It's a sci-fi classic for sure. I DNF'd this. It was just too much for me. I was getting so incredibly bored reading it, but I know a lot of people love it, and sorry, it just wasn't for me. But it's basically about this guy who gets left behind on a trip to space, and they think he's dead, and they go to take the trip back and realize he's still alive, but they cannot get back to him. And by the time they would be able to get back to him, which would be like 300 and something days, he'd be dead because he doesn't have enough like water and food and all these things to survive. So it's his journey trying to survive on Mars. And then I have The Help by Catherine Stockett. And I've seen the movie and I really loved it. And I have heard so many good things about this book. It has definitely been recommended to me as one of the books you need to read before you die. And I know it is, it's pretty lengthy, but I need to read it. And I'm sure I'm going to love it. The last two books are totally random, but I have How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And the book is exactly what it says it is. It's exactly what you think it is, okay? Next is The Little Prince by Antoine de Saint... His name, it's not that his name is too hard to pronounce, it's that I'm ignorant. Look at this freaking artistry, my guy. Like, it's so weird. It's like this little boy like drops out of the sky and is like, I'm from a planet far away. And this guy talking to him and him being like, I don't know. It's just wild. It's so weird. It's like one of those books where it looks like a kid's book, but then it's like the most mind expanding book of all time. Good is what I'd say. It's good. Okay, so that equals out to a total of 57 physical books that I have in my possession right now, because I do have more than mail. And that does not include audiobooks that I have purchased, because that would be a whole other kit and caboodle. But 57 total books, and of those, I have read 30 of them. And I am so proud of myself. I'm like, that's like over half. Like, who am I? Anywho, I know this was a super long video, and thank you so much for watching. Leave me a comment if you want, like and subscribe. Thank you so much. And I know that in probably a week, I'm gonna have another video of me unhauling books. So look forward to that. And until I see you next time, have a great day.